Hi whiskey enthusiasts, it's Brett and I'm back with a review for you again this week. I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to try rearranging my review. I'm going to get right to the tasting very quickly, and then for those of you who want to stick around and learn more about this distillery and or this whiskey and some of the data that I like to delve into, I'll tell you that afterwards. This is something I've wanted to try for quite a while. I got a chance to buy some small bottles of it, so I didn't have to spend so much money. And this is Koval single barrel bourbon whiskey. Real quick, this is a unique bourbon in that it is over 51% corn, but the secondary grain in it is millet, which is an Asian and African grain. It is 47%. And all bourbon from Koval is single barrel. All right? So let's see what we get with a millet enhanced bourbon. The nose is very sweet and vanilla. There's a caramel. Very, very little spice. This reminds me a lot of a wheat bourbon, like a Weller Antique in the nose. It's sweet, so much like vanilla frosting in the nose. Not unpleasant at all, but there's very, very little spice. Just a little bit of a warming nutmeg or something. That's my first sip of the day, so I want to take another one before I give you any notes. The first thing I notice on the palate is a sweet breadiness. It's grainy like baked bread of some sort. That's followed up by the very sweet caramel, vanilla frosting. There's a very nice rich tobacco note that takes hold in the middle of the palate and carries over into the finish. Likewise, in the second part of the palate, you'll get a quite strong black pepper note. For the first time on the finish, you get a little bit of heat. The finish is rather dry. You get oak making an appearance in the finish. The pepper is very strong in the finish. And oddly, the really strong pepper note and the ethanol burn in the finish together make for a warming, lingering finish that is longer than I expected it to be for this particular bourbon. They don't tell me how old this is exactly, but it does say on the bottle that it is less than 4 years old. In the middle of the palate, as I've taken several sips, I'm beginning to get a little bit of a cherry note. in the middle of the palate, but the fruit isn't the highlight here. It's that strong caramel and vanilla frosting and the black pepper. There are components of this that are very traditional tasting, and then there are components of it that are unique. I would say the pepper is stronger than you normally would see. Also, the sweetness of the nose is unusual, with the exception of a few wheated bourbons. You're not going to get that kind of a sweet nose at all with most rye bourbons. All in all, I like it. I think it is very interesting. If you're wanting to mix something up into your bourbon lineup that has flavors you're familiar with but offers something different without getting into something that's really radical, this is nice. Among the craft bourbons that I've tasted, especially younger craft bourbons that I've tasted, this is probably one of the better ones, and I would recommend trying it. As far as a rating, I would probably give it about an 82 for the nose, an 80 for palate, and the finish I would give it an 82. And the reason why the finish is rated higher is because I really like that unique, really strong cracked pepper kind of thing going on. If you get a chance to buy one of these smaller units, this is a 200 milliliter bottle. It came in a set, and you got the bourbon, the rye, and the 4-grain all together. That's something I think has come out around the holidays. And so if you get a chance to get that, it might be a good pickup for you. That's what I did. Rather than spending the money on one bottle, not knowing anything about Koval, I wanted to get a chance to sample some of their stuff without taking as much risk per bottle. If you really want to experiment with your bourbon, it's a good choice. In most cases, either try one of the small ones or go to a bar and see if you can find somebody that has it. But it is absolutely worth trying. There's absolutely nothing in it that is going to completely turn you off like you will find with some craft whiskeys. There's nothing completely out of this world that's going to frustrate you or make you drain pour it, all right? So without risk, try it, okay? For those of you who want to know a little bit more about it, as I said, this is made from corn and millet only. There's no other grains in it. They don't give, in the information that I've seen, exact percentages, all right? This is made in Chicago. All the water used for production comes from from Lake Michigan. That water, they filter themselves through charcoal and then use the Lake Michigan water. All bottlings of their product are single barrel. And their barrels are 30-gallon barrels. Typical bourbon barrel is 52 gallons. This 30-gallon barrel is about, what, 2/3 the size. You're going to get more contact with the wood, so you're going to get more barrel influence quicker. This is certified both organic and kosher. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about was that, oh, there's two more things. Those 30-gallon barrels are barrels from Minnesota, so that's Minnesota oak, apparently. And what was the last thing? I'm saying too many things at once about a whiskey I'm just learning about. There was another piece of information. It's too bad I can't remember it. I didn't write it down. It's all single barrel. I already told you that. I can't remember what the other little tidbit was. It's not important. It was just history. Oh yeah, Koval. The word Koval. In many European languages, they say it means blacksmith. In Yiddish, it apparently means black sheep. So they like to call themselves the black sheep of the whiskey industry. And that's just a little bit of history on the word Koval. Well, I'm going to continue drinking this because I actually like it. And if you get a chance to try it, do so. Regardless, just remember, go out and find you a whiskey you'll love.